this good intention art contest ended up in a big fiasco. And this involves Ben and Jerry's. So this starts with this Instagram post by user Yo Ben Cohen, one of the two co-founders of Ben and Jerry's. This is Ben. Jerry actually backed out of the company recently. Ben puts out a post writing, submit your package ideas using hashtag free Ben and Jerry's, hashtag justice for Palestine, and tag Ben and Magnum. And Ben writes, we, that's you and me, are making our pint for peace in Palestine. Basically, Ben and Jerry's has been frustrated by Unilever, which they merged with them in the year 2000, but they wanted to post on social media to support Palestine. And Unilever basically was like, nope, you can't do that. So starting in September, Ben and Jerry's has been trying to get Magnum, the ice cream company, to let them leave Unilever so they could stick to their morals and show support for whatever they would like. And according to Ben, that's one of the reasons why Jerry left in the first place. And they have a whole website dedicated to this as well, because again, they want to become an independently owned company. So this is one of the reasons why this ice cream contest was being held. But again, a big one is to show support for Palestine, which Ben has publicly been a very strong advocate for. So again, the rules for the contest are really fun. They have a new flavor and they want the public to help design the packaging. And that the winning design will be made into a real pint and you will get free Ben and Jerry's for life if they get to be freed as a company from Unilever. So this all sounds really fine and dandy and it sounds very wholesome. And 3 days ago, Ben posted this video.
When the bombardment of Gaza was raging, Ben & Jerry's tried to come out with a flavor calling for a ceasefire, and Unilever Magnum blocked it. This isn't just about ice cream. It's about dignity. It's about justice. It's about refusing to be silent when people, especially children, are suffering.
So basically in this video, Ben is kind of walking through a convenience store and talking about a big announcement relating to this contest.
Which brings me to my favorite section of the grocery store. So here's the winning design and name for the watermelon ice cream for Palestine. This artwork says everything Magnum didn't want said out loud.
So Ben then reveals the winning design, which is this design in question. And it's a very, again, wholesome message, right? About how larger corporations should not silence others. The big debate around this is with the artwork on the packaging itself. Because according to the public, there are two issues with this. We have Instagram user Queen of Palestine writing, Ben shared the winning design. The winning name is Freedom Fruit for the Ben & Jerry's ice cream competition. What are your thoughts? Here's my opinion as a Palestinian Muslim woman. It's clear that Palestine's rich religious diversity is not represented. Not everyone wears a hijab or is Muslim. Palestine is home to the oldest Christian community in the world. This is something we are extremely proud of. Secondly, we are a beautiful array of shades. Palestinians come in all colors, and that is not represented in this artwork. Our diversity is our biggest strength, and representation matters. Finally, Palestine is home to the highest number of child amputees per capita in the world. Incorporating children whose arms or legs have been amputated can really shine a light on the injustice they have experienced due to the Israeli genocide. And Queen of Palestine is calling for Ben to potentially incorporate those changes into the design. And basically, that's because the design features Palestinian individuals kind of like standing on a river on either side with somebody jumping across. And everybody does seem to be of the exact same skin tone. But other people in the comment section were saying, wait a second, we hear your thoughts, but also, upon zooming in closer to the artwork, there are some things that look odd. Why does this person eating watermelon look like they have 6 fingers? Why does one person have a jumbled amalgamation of fingers? Why does the kid jumping have a pinky and ring finger that are fused together? Did the person who created this artwork use AI? And we have this. This is posted on Threads by user Amira Out Loud, who writes, well, this sucks. Ben Cohen decided to choose an AI-generated submission as the winning design for a Palestinian-themed ice cream. I don't know much about the designer, but she doesn't even seem to be Palestinian. The design lacks the diversity and rich cultural heritage of Palestine, with notable Palestinian thwabs missing, as well as all of the women featured wearing hijabs. The watermelon is overused in the design and totally isolated from its own origins, the Palestinian flag. And this is the full design so that you can kind of see like all of the details. And this does look very most definitely AI. Unfortunately. A commenter says, I demand Christian Palestinians to be seen. And the artist responds, I'm sorry, that's my bad. It is AI generated. And every time I prompted it to add some girls without a hijab, it gave me a very awkward looking result or made it entirely boys and no girls. Regardless of religion, Palestinians need to be free. And like, this is what happens when you use AI, right? Because look, this situation has a lot of nuance, but I think it's completely understandable to want to see representation on packaging that is supposed to represent you, and it's just not fully there. And that's again like what the creator said, because it was made with AI. AI has its limitations. A human artist would be like, yeah, sure, I can clearly easily just, go to the layer, I put the skin tones on, change some of them so that it's more inclusive. I can go and remove some of the hijabs and draw in some hair. You can't make those changes. But if it is AI generated, you don't get the option of doing that, which is why you end up with pieces that look like this. And other people are saying, I find it hard to believe they couldn't find a single Palestinian designer they could hire to do a proper design for them, instead of essentially getting a whole bunch of people to do unpaid labor and then picking AI slop anyways. Other people are saying this is an incredible case study in why both this type of speculative art contest and AI art are absolute trash. Spec contests, so these are contests that put out feelers as like, submit a lot of art and then we're gonna pick one winner. Sometimes there is good intention with it in that, like, oh, we want to do a contest to like allow people to potentially have their art featured. It's a cool moment for them. It's also an opportunity for companies to not pay people to design packaging for products that they don't want to pay for. And they will get the rights to use it because it's going to be in the fine print somewhere in some TOS you're going to agree to. Not every contest is like this, but a fair amount of them are. And that's why they're called like spec contests, right? Speculative. They're exploitative of artists, ripping off their time and talents, usually giving more promotion to the brand than to the artist. Then, like, who did they get to judge this disaster? They could not have spent more than 10 seconds looking at it. It's so rough, the floating watermelons, the extra fingers, the composition is atrocious. No real artist would ever. Yuck. And the artist who created it made a post on social media writing, I want to remind everyone that the purpose of this challenge isn't about winning. It's about raising awareness and supporting Palestine. My flavor concept, story, and design direction were created by me, and I used AI only as a tool to visualize it. Let's keep the focus on the reason we're here, making an impact and showing solidarity. I think this could be broken down into a couple points, right? In the rules for the contest, no AI was not explicitly stated. So people are gonna do what people are gonna do, and artists will enter. And then because it didn't say you couldn't use AI, people who want to use it will then use it. Is it their fault for using it and entering? Maybe you can make the argument they should have known better or knowingly excluded themselves from this contest to make room for actual artists and like Palestinian artists. There was also a whole side debate as to whether the artist was Palestinian or not. I don't know, digging into like somebody's life origins and background and nationality, like that's something that somebody would choose to reveal or not reveal. That's their personal information. I just don't think like hounding somebody for personal information is a good idea. But you can maybe make the argument if you didn't meet specific requirements that are unspoken, maybe you self-exclude yourself. I don't know, right? At the end of the day, they entered within the rules of the contest and they were selected as the winner by the contest, the people that held the contest. I personally, do I agree that a Gen AI piece won over actual artists? And especially there were Palestinian artists who did enter that handmade their work. I do think more selection should have been used by the contest organizers, Ben and Jerry. And, it is good to try to keep the focus on the real reason, making an impact, showing solidarity. I do think Ben and Jerry's could have run this a lot better. And Ben put a comment on the Instagram reel writing, a lot of our free Ben and Jerry supporters have let us know that we made a mistake by not establishing rules to exclude AI from the pint design contest. We're sorry. In response to the thoughtful comments, we're going to select a co-winner. And in the future, we are going to set clear guidelines for contests that exclude AI design. We know AI is used as a tool and not everyone is an artist. We appreciate all of those that took the time to submit a design and supported us in making a watermelon flavor when Ben & Jerry's couldn't. What Ben & Jerry's stands for is being real, not artificial. Moving forward, we commit to not using any AI stuff. We thank you for the opportunity to learn and do better, which we will. The fight to free Ben and Jerry's will continue, and we appreciate your ongoing support. And that's the biggest thing, right? People in the comments still aren't fully satisfied because they basically feel like because the winner used AI for a design contest, and the fact that, again, Jane AI does steal and train off of actual artists' work, that it should not be representing the company as packaging, especially for a cause like this. And I do think it does go a step further because on one hand, I do understand the intent to show support for Palestine, but it also ties into the spec work thing. Speculative art contest where the prize is like you get free ice cream. Great. Like, I love ice cream. I feel like a lot of people do. Like what other commenters have said, it's creating a situation where people are going to put time and effort into creating something and get like no reward for it because out of all the entries, only one person's winning ice cream, and the other people all put in all this time and effort and got basically like nothing out of it. But like if a percentage of the proceeds would be donated to Palestine, to relief efforts, and for potentially there to be like a financial incentive for the people that entered. Obviously, you can't pay everyone, but like maybe like a top X amount of winners would like receive some money, because like ice cream doesn't keep the lights on in your house. You know what I mean? So it's a whole interesting scenario. And again, don't send hate to the person who created the design. At the end of the day, I do think if you see a design contest meant for artists to create packaging and you generated it with AI, might be time to sit this one out. I don't know. A commenter left a funny comment that I thought was hilarious, and they were just like, yeah, if I see a rap contest and I don't know how to rap, I'm not going to AI generate some rap and go enter with that. But I don't know, because some people probably will do that. I'm just curious about your thoughts at the end of the day. I don't want to see any like hate or harassment towards any parties. With that, I appreciate it if you watch this video, and if you want to like and subscribe, it'll help support the channel. I have a Etsy with digital art for streamers and creators like emotes and overlays, and a Coffee with free resources. I'm also trying to get my Instagram to 100K, so I'd appreciate the follow there if you want to. And I have a Twitch where I stream 3 days a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays at 6 p.m. PST. So I hope to catch y'all there or in another video. Peace.